What's up everybody, welcome to my video. I'm Randy, artist from Atlanta, Georgia. A while back I painted this barn using a full range of colors. In this video I'm going to do another version of this painting using the Zorn palette. Zorn palette is named after Swedish painter Anders Zorn, and it's a very limited palette which only uses 4 colors. Those colors are cadmium red, yellow ochre, although I sometimes substitute yellow oxide, and ivory black, which is really important that it's not Mars black, because this is how you get your blues, and finally titanium white. It's pretty amazing that just with these 4 colors you can get a whole range of colors, and you don't get a true blue. The blue is really a light gray, but it's on the bluish side. All the greens come from a combination of the ivory black and yellow ochre or yellow oxide, and they really look greener when they're next to the cadmium red. If you want to check out this full video of me experimenting with this palette, here's a link. Here's an example of a painting I did using pretty much just those 4 colors straight out of the tube with very little mixing. Alright, let's get to painting. As you can see here, I've already started and I did a background. I did this just kind of goofing around from memory after I did the first painting, and I wanted it to be very loose and abstract and wanted to just play basically with the Zorn palette. And once I got it to this point, I decided I was going to make a video out of this, and I started recording the steps from here on in. So basically, like I said, there is no blue in this palette, so I'm going to do the sky with a very light mix of white and the ivory black. And for the grass and all the trees, I really like the greens that you can get with the Zorn palette. And as you can see, I pretty much am just making this up as I go along as far as the grass and the surrounding plants, but it's just a combination of a medium white and darker mixture of yellow ochre and ivory black. For the boards on the barn, I mixed up some cadmium red and some ivory black, and it gives it kind of a rust feel. And although the barn is probably a little bit darker than this, I liked the very light gray. I like the contrast that it created between the boards and the cracks in between the boards. And I think it is, a nice effect. It's really easy to do this, and I'm definitely not trying to be a perfectionist with this. I put in a lot of time and effort to that first painting of the barn, and this one I just was trying to be a little more relaxed with it and just have fun, mainly just as a color study. So for me, the reason to use a Zorn palette, especially with a subject matter like this, is because I really love the idea of the old vintage photograph feel. It's like a moment captured in time. It really does feel like a memory of a long lost place and time. And I think that I'm kind of on the edge of capturing that feeling when I'm doing paintings like this, but I think there is a lot more I can do to achieve that effect. And I'm really looking forward to experimenting in the future with more subjects like this and really push this palette and see how far I can take it. Yeah, this is really fun for me to paint foliage like this. I think it's pretty simple. You just use a dark mixture, a medium mixture, a light mixture, maybe 4 or 5 different variations of green. And with acrylic especially, it doesn't matter in what order you go. I mean, typically I'll start dark, go medium, then go light, but sometimes I'll just go back in and add more dark and more medium and more light and just kind of change the order up however I feel until it looks good and I feel like it looks like a plant. One of the things I have to be careful about here is not making patterns with the brush, meaning not creating the same shapes over and over again. And the older and more gnarly the brush, the better for that. And I love this effect of the little slats with the cracks with the light coming in the back. And here I go again painting clouds with my fingers, but got to get better at that. And just a few little details like the telephone pole and the power lines there and a few flowers here and there, and I think we're done with this one. So here's the original with the full color palette, and then this is the Zorn palette. I really do like the effects that you can achieve with the Zorn palette. Like I said, it gives it this old, rustic, vintage, lost in time feel, and I'm excited to play with some other subjects and see what I can come up with. I think you should try it if you're a painter, an artist, and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear how it goes. And also, just thanks again to everybody who has subscribed and commented and liked and all that good stuff. Really appreciate your support.